I keep remember every time we like whenever they come to Texas or anything, and I see people like, hey, I know that guy that Braun Strowman is throwing over the top rope with
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
Like
Brandon Rice.
man.
Yeah.
And this was back when he was full on heel, and I was booing him. Even I was like, oh, I don't think he deserved that. I don't
No,
think he deserved that.
I know we still watch it to this day. We're like, oh my god, I can't believe it. It's crazy.
What is up, Wrestle Geeks? It is Big Mike here with another special edition of the Countdown City WrestleCast. As always, I have my partner in crime, that guy Tommy.
Yo.
And joining us today, we have a special guest. We have the Queen of Hybrid, the first ever female graduate from Hybrid School of Wrestling. We have Key Vibez.
Woo!
Key, thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And so, getting started here, there's a lot to talk about, a lot you've accomplished. But let's go back to the past. Wrestling in your childhood. Were you a wrestling fan from a young age? Was it something you were always into?
Yeah, most definitely. It started off like pretty much as a baby. My grandparents watched it. Basically, it was probably more of my grandfather. He was always watching it on TV. Even my great grandfather. So
Yeah.
every time I'd go and pass by the room, it was on TV. So I'd always be like, okay, well, let me go lay down and watch TV too. And I just fell in love with it. Like, and especially doing like, like in my childhood too, like when I was about 11 years old, we'd go to shows in San Antonio. It was like BOW. At the time, it was Texas Heat Wrestling, stuff like that. So I became really like intrigued to wrestle and do it myself because I've seen these people do it. So I was like, why not? I'm a female. I could probably do this too one day. So that's why I just fell in love.
Yeah.
Texas Heat Wrestling shows, man, that takes me back.
And it's crazy because I can see Tommy. I remember you there at the shows, and I'm like, oh,
well,
I know him.
Well, see what no one knows about Texas Heat Wrestling is Chewy Martinez, who was I knew the damn bar was going to come up.
Everybody knows Tommy.
The thing about Texas Heat that no one knows is like Chewy more often than not would say, "I better be at the show," more or less kind of threatening me. Because I would probably see him at like a show that's like the week before, be like, "Hey, you coming to Texas Heat?" Like, "Yeah, I'll be there." "Okay, you better." I was like, "Why is everyone threatening me to come to a show?" So, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
like,
you bring the noise.
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
Oh man.
So wrestling was always a part of your childhood. Who were your favorites growing up as a kid? Who were the ones that you really loved?
Yeah. So the ones probably like the main one that made me want to like talk like him and do everything like him was The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I was a baby, I used to chant like Rocky, Rocky. I was so like I was such a baby, and there was like even like VHS tapes of me, and I'm like, oh, it's just interesting to go back and see that, and now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not as good as him, but I'll get there.
You'll get there for sure.
Yeah.
So as you got older, this is an interesting question because people have kind of answered both depending on where they were. Was there ever an age where you're like, oh, wrestling, I got to stop watching that. It's not cool. Or did you kind of keep with wrestling your whole time through high school and stuff?
Okay. So I will be honest about this because like I said, from like a very young age, I was always watching it. Like I was never missing shows.
Okay, yeah.
But then once I hit probably like eighth grade / like the end of my seventh grade year, those were the years where I was just kind of like I kind of faded away because every time I talk about wrestling with people, they'd be like, "Oh, that's fake. It's fake.
Yeah.
Why do you watch that when you could watch like something else?" And I'm like, so it kind of made me feel like so is it wrong to watch this?
Self-conscious.
Yeah. So then I completely fell out of like the whole like me being a big fan of wrestling.
Right.
But then once like I went to my high school, I just knew, like, it's okay to be yourself. And this is when too, when like AJ Lee was around and Paige, and they were saying
Yeah.
that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to show who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Nobody should ever feel ashamed of what they love and enjoy.
Sure.
That's cool. I like you that you got that message out of them, and
Yeah.
it's not always something WWE did with their characters. So I'm glad that that made that effect on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how old are you when you decide? You know what? I think I might train for it. I think I want to become a wrestler.
Yep. Okay. So actually, it's crazy because, like, I look back and I'm so glad that I made this choice. But I had the option between a Sweet 16 and Hybrid School of Wrestling. So my mom, yeah. So
That's
my
awesome.
mom gave me those two ultimatums. She's like, you either have this big party one night, or you go to wrestling school, and it's on you. If you quit, that's on you. If you give up on this, that's your dream, and I'm paying for it and stuff like that. So I had those two. So at 16, I decided, yeah, I want to do wrestling school for sure. So
That is
I,
the craziest choice I've ever heard, and that's awesome. Your mom's
yeah,
That is
awesome.
awesome.
she really is. I
Her
wouldn't
mom
be
is
here.
awesome. She,
It's so cool.
just to share a story from recently. She gave me pizza at the United show. I told Tommy this.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were sitting right in front of us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or right in front of
Yeah.
me.
And
No, yeah,
anyone who gets free pizza is okay with me. They have to do a
that's
lot
what
of
I
work on
say.
me. Yeah, it's like free pizza. All right, you're cool.
You
Doesn't
got
matter what
me.
you do right
That's what it was.
now.
Yep.
So you start training at 16.
That's so
Mhm.
crazy.
Do you remember that first day or like the first couple months? We've talked a lot with the hybrid people about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's our favorite question to ask all the hybrid students. Like they're about their first few months of training.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Honest?
I'm just being honest because,
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna be real, like, be like completely honest, but throughout my middle school, high school years, I was like overweight. I played video games. I was just home all day. I didn't do
Yeah.
anything. So, my mom told me to be in sports, join like volleyball or do something, but I wasn't interested in that stuff. I was just never part of like like the cool kids and whatnot. I was
Yeah.
always skipping homecoming games and stuff. But yeah, like, so on my first day of training, it was hard because we had Coach Mark at the time too, and
Mm,
he put us through hell, but he did it for the right reasons,
right, yeah.
like,
Right.
it's the reason why we're in the ring now and you don't see us as tired as other people are. But on my first day, I remember that I think I literally did like 20 squats and I threw up outside.
Damn.
It was, and that's like the bare minimum right there. And I was just like, I still look back at the day and I'm like, wow, I've came so far. Now I could do like more squats and not do,
Yeah.
like go outside and throw up.
What was it hard to come back the second day or
Yeah, like on the second day, it was like it was a little bit easier for me, just
yeah.
because, like, I kind of paced myself more and they taught me how to breathe.
Right.
But then once, like, I would say like the end of that week, I just, like, my body felt it. Like that morning when I woke
Mm.
up, I think it was like on a Friday morning, I woke up and I was like, I got hit by a car or something. Like my body's hurting. I
It's like,
was,
okay,
yeah.
maybe that Sweet 16 wasn't such a bad idea.
Yep, literally, yes. No.
At what point did it like suddenly did not suddenly, but when did you notice it was starting to get easier to keep with that intensity?
Yeah, so I noticed, like, if you skip a day of training, like, it really takes a toll on you.
Mm,
Even if it's just like one day, because, like, I feel like, everything that we do at training is like muscle memory, footwork, and stuff like that. So once you miss like a few days, like, you're off, like, like, you're totally off, like, you're like, like, your whole mind's going everywhere. But
mm,
um, I like when I saw that this was helping me a lot and I was getting better. It's because, like, I would say almost like 2 years in wrestling school, like, I saw my body changing. I was getting more muscle. I was getting more leaner. So, like, I saw that all of this training and like the gym stuff, like, like the whole gym work, eating right, it really takes a big toll on you, and like it just makes you better and it makes you look better too. So, and I can feel it in the ring. I'm not dying. I'm not breathing hard.
gotcha.
Yeah. Hmm.
And how long would you say you were doing cardio before you actually started getting in the ring to do wrestling drills?
Let me see. Yeah, because like that's because I still look back at this day. I had trouble with rolls, like even with like the smallest rolls, I had trouble because I wasn't used to
Right.
physical stuff. But I was doing cardio for a good 5 6 months around there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It took me a lot of time to get there.
Well,
So do you remember watching like the other students training in the ring, thinking like, "Oh, I can't wait to get in there," while you're doing all this cardio for months?
Yeah, like at the time it was there's a tag team, the Horde.
I
Like
remember those
mhm,
guys.
yeah. They were like to me because like I always like heavy metal and stuff, and like Ruben Steele was all about heavy metal, and I saw his character and I was like, oh my god, like I would love to like have a match with them one day. I would love to be in there. Like that's crazy, and I'd be doing squats on the outside or doing ab workouts, and I'd see that. I'd watch them doing like like training matches, training with like the other students, and like teaching them how to bump stuff like that. Like I saw that, and I was like,
Yeah.
like that's my dream to be in the ring with them one day.
Your first match, do you still remember that?
Yes, I do.
What was
Yeah.
that like?
This match was at a flea market. Um,
Yeah.
it
In
was it
Texas,
was
yeah,
like
that sounds about right.
yeah. It was at a flea market. It was a tag team match, intergender tag team. My tag team partner was Benny Bravo, and we were going against Bryson Scott and Simply Luscious.
Oh wow.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah. So it was like it was really fun. But I just like I still like I get like how do you say, like I can still feel my heart beating that
Yeah.
same.
From that day.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like I was so nervous backstage, and I had Coach Mark and Coach Marvel behind, and they kept telling me like it's gonna be okay. Like you're gonna be fine. You know what you're doing, stuff. And like I just freaked out because I was like, this is real. Like it hit me. Like I'm gonna go out and do what I want to do now. Like this is like the first day of my journey.
Nice. How,
Mhm.
And
like
go
so
ahead.
so that was your feelings going into the match. How did you feel after like the bell was rung and you were like backstage after the match was over?
Yeah, it's crazy because like it still happens to this day, but I feel like I don't like my ears go numb, like I don't hear anything anymore. Like I can't hear people, can't hear anything. I'm just like so focused on the match, but afterwards I just remember going to the back and I started crying a little bit because like, I
Yeah.
just like that first step, I took it, and it
That's
was
awesome.
good for me because like I learned so much from, like 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 Simply Luscious and Bryson,
Yeah.
and then I learned from Benny Bravo too because they all helped me out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just really happy because it was like the beginning of Key Vibes.
Yeah. And you're
So
saying you can't even hear Tommy at matches?
Oh, that one's a little different.
how did I know her response was going to be different for that one?
No.
We've talked about it at our show fairly often, but one of our favorite parts of the day after shows is seeing everyone's clips and seeing how often you can hear Tommy in other people's clips. Like with the MPW shows, he always jokes about title match must hate when they come to San Antonio.
They,
Yes,
they have to at this point. They're like, all right, then the next show is San Antonio. That loud dude's going to be there.
he's gonna be there.
Damn.
No, and then it's crazy because at training, it was just about 2 days ago, we were like seeing like our match with Gia, Michelle, and Calientita,
Yeah.
and like the moment when like I pushed Calientita to the ropes and she hit Gia and
Yeah.
she fell, you just hear Tommy go, ah, like we were laughing. We're like, oh my god, of course, it's Tommy.
Yeah. His laugh anytime something happens to the heels.
Yeah. Well, Callie's different. She legitimately doesn't like me. I'm kidding.
She's just spicy, honestly.
She,
She's
That-
just
th- th-
spicy.
look,
th- th- there is that.
she's a
There
little
is
ball
that
of
for
anger
sure. Yeah.
sometimes.
She's a ball of fire.
She
Yeah.
is.
She
We
is.
were I was joking because like we used to see her ref as Zendy all the time. And then after Izzy made her debut, they were having that match for her
Mhm.
debut match at Hybrid. And I think I wore my Izzy shirt to that show. And like I go to say hi and she like mean mugs me and she's like, I see your shirt. Don't come over here. I was like, whoa.
I know. The
I wasn't
same
even.
thing.
I wasn't even
No,
wearing an AZ shirt. She just mean mug me anyway. So,
for no reason.
yeah, I don't know what I did. Well, I mean, I kind of might know, but I don't know. But so I don't know what I did.
I know, yeah, like she sees my grandfather with his, all of his Key Vibes merch, and she just gives him like the evil stare. She gives him like the evil stare.
Is that what she was yelling at?
Probably.
Probably.
And then my grandpa goes against me. I'm like, what? Then why are you wearing my stuff?
Grandpa.
I
It's
know,
like, it be your own people.
right? Just tell me the truth.
Oh.
Oh man.
So once you get started, um, you wrestled for a lot of groups around here. I was going to do a little research and kind of looking back to your Facebook page, and there's stuff with Galactic Pro, Sabotage, BOW,
Mhm.
um, and eventually ROW. Um, and this was back to around 2018. I don't know if that was the
Mhm.
year you had started or not.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
Yeah,
it was
my first
okay.
year. Hmm.
Yeah. So, what do you remember about that kind of first year when you start going to other shows and you kind of start getting out there and being a wrestler?
Yeah. So like yeah, cause I remember like that first year I got so excited, especially since that's being like my whole like graduation year. I
Hmm.
was like, I was just like ready to go and do shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But then like I think I noticed like there was times where like I put myself in positions where I was like, wait, I'm not too ready for this yet, but I still did it. But then
Yeah.
like I go back to that day and I'm like, oh wow, like I'm kind of glad and I'm proud of myself that I actually like put myself out there and did
Right.
the shows because like if it wasn't for like like ROW sabotage and stuff like that, like I I don't think I would be like in the ring like the way that I am now. I have so much experience, I can
Right.
help other women too. But like it was like like the whole year, I was doing so many shows basically like every weekend. It's like it's kind of different now, due to
Right.
my life and everything. But
Yeah.
I do plan to go back to the way it used to be, where it's like shows every weekend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Awesome.
And then with hybrid, there kind of becomes a trio of you guys there. I don't know the exact order. I know you're the first one, but
Hmm.
Maddie and Gia show up too while y'all are there.
Yeah.
How much does your time cross over in training? Because we know you're the first graduate,
Mhm.
and we assume they didn't come too long after. What was that like being there? I guess with a group that you're all around, around the same place, trying to become wrestlers and getting out there.
Yeah, like it's crazy because I met Maddie. I totally forgot which year she came in, but like it was at our old location.
Okay.
But when I met her, like we just clicked. We started
Yeah.
talking. We were like like we had so much in common too. We talk about like different things in life, and I feel like I grew with her as a sister
Yeah.
mostly because at the time I didn't have any other females to really train with, so it was just me and Maddie. We were always training together, always doing seminars and stuff. So like it's really awesome to see like how far she's come and where she's at, because like like it gives me hope too, like hey like I can do that too one day, like I have
Right.
like I have so much
Sure.
hope for myself too. And then like once Gia came along, I remember she walked in, just to do like a tour of the school. And I went
Yeah.
up to her because at the time there was no other girls either. So I was like, oh my gosh, like there's like another female, like please tell me that you're gonna join. And she's like, yeah, yeah, like I'm like really, like interested in joining the school. So I guess like the week after she came, and like, there we are, just like sisters.
Yeah.
Like, it's like it totally became like a whole like sisterhood to me. And I train with them like pretty often. I train with Gia Michelle like for the most part, like every day at training,
Yeah.
Calipita, stuff like that. There's like so many upcoming women too that are like you guys should watch out for, because they're gonna like blow the roof off every
Yeah.
like, place that they go to. But it's really great to be around hybrid and like the students there, because they're like my family. I feel like me only having a brother in real life, like I'm blessed for that. But I I have a bond with all these students.
Yeah.
I feel like I like I came so far with them, and like I went through so much with them, and I feel like I can talk to them, I can ask them for help, and they're always there. So it's just a big family, and like I totally I love growing with them, and I can't wait to see what they do and what I do later.
As the first graduate, do you kind of feel like almost like a motherly figure to the younger ones coming in and stuff, or is it just more sisters?
No, it's crazy because like they always say like, "Oh, look, it's the queen," or like, "Oh, this and that." And I tell them like, "Guys, like, please stop," because like for some reason I don't like it. I
Yeah,
just feel like yes, I was like the first girl to be like like the graduate of hybrid, but at the same time like I'm a student too. Like I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to grow.
yeah,
I'm in the same boat as them. I'm like as nervous as they are. My thoughts are the same as theirs. Like I just feel like we're all equal. So like they're really like my siblings.
well, that's cool.
That's
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've always seen of hybrid, that's one thing I've always that's why because I've actually had a number of talked to people who say like, well, I always thought about becoming a wrestler. I refer them to hybrid immediately. I was like, no kidding. It's like, and it's more than just the fact that I know Marvel. I see the ethic that comes out of it, from you and from all the others,
Hmm.
and it's always shown that not only is the close knit there, but the system that you guys have really works.
It does,
Yeah,
yes. We're just so close. Like it's basically
yeah.
like my second family right there. Yeah.
yeah.
And being so close with those three, does that
Mhm.
also make it easier to have those matches? Because y'all have had quite a bit of matches. You've had a rivalry in RCW with Maddie for maybe going back and forth to almost over a year now
Yeah.
At least
Hmm.
been over a year
uh,
now. Yeah.
of time. Yeah,
So it's like it's crazy because like like I said, I always go back to the first day that I met Maddie, right? And
yeah,
the things that we went through at RCW, like I still can't believe it to this day. Like that's my sister. Like why are you doing me like that? But
Yeah.
at the same time, like like life goes on. I have to do what I do.
yeah.
Key vibes, like as long as she has metal vibes on her back, that's all she needs. And then like as far as like the girls like at the school too, like Calientita, Gia Michelle, we're always bumping heads. Like Calientita, she's like I said, she's super spicy. We don't know how to like calm her down sometimes. And then Gia
I'm not
Michelle,
surprised.
she's just like she's too bougie for me. And like she vibes, like I throw on my Doc Martens and I'm ready to go. She wants me to
Yeah,
oh, it's just there's just too many differences.
That like a family. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're all family, but my God, that one gets on my nerve. I hear that a lot. I'm the youngest, so I hear that a lot.
Speaking of that, in RCW, this past year at RCW Mania, you brought in some friends from the neighborhood, I
Mhm.
assume, to help you out the Cholas, and they did on that night. But then apparently, the conniving mastermind Maddie got to them somehow,
Yeah.
and they turned on you a show or two
I'm
later.
assuming with hot Cheetos and Big Red.
That's been our assumption for a while. Um, do you have plans for these Cholas who apparently have also befriended, or maybe she was always a part of that Calientita? Do you have plans for them
Yeah.
in RCW before it's all said and done?
Shoot. I mean, honestly, like I said, like I grew up with these girls down the street, like literally right there at that light. We're always hanging out. We have to be back before, you know, as soon as like that light turns on, we all had to go back home. That was like our time
Yeah,
to go back. But
yeah.
like I said, like all these girls, well, my girls that I thought were my girls, they totally turned their back on me over some plan from the mastermind Maddie, right? It's just
Mm,
crazy to look back because like I said, I shared my hot Cheetos with them. Like
Steel through
I
betrayal.
like yeah, and I invited them to my house and we hung out. We listened to music and stuff like. And then I'm just saying for the future, like if they want to step up and challenge me, I dare you. Like that's all I'm gonna say is like I dare you because they have completely torn the heart of Key Vibes.
Ooh,
And once you do that,
mm,
you're just saying beware, beware.
oh, ooh,
mm. They have seemed to get more bold at the last few RCW shows, trying to get more
yeah.
involved.
Mm.
So
Cross
yeah,
miranda
I'm gonna
warriors.
see
Yep.
what comes in
I
2024.
see them, but I stay away until it's my time.
There you go.
And I can't wait for that to happen. I'm so looking forward to it.
To turn off a bit from wrestling for a
Mhm.
minute, I wanted to ask you about this because I saw this
Okay.
online. Your photo shoot with, is it Photo
Oh
Jadex?
yes. Uh-huh.
Where you did the, I guess it's called the Muertos vibes. You were kind of Day of the Dead
Hmm.
costume and makeup. How did that come about, and what was that for?
Yeah, that was like so Josh and Deb, they're like they're completely great photographers. Like
Yeah,
and like no lie, to me they are the best photographers out there. I feel like their image quality is just like on point all the time.
yeah,
Um one day they asked me on Facebook, they were like, "Hey Key, do you want to, join us for like a photo shoot? We'll help you with the makeup, we'll do all this and that." And you know me, I'm like, I'm totally into Dia de los Muertos. Like I'm completely
yeah,
like that catches my attention like that. Like if you see my room, I have like all these cute things of that stuff. But once they asked me, I was like, "Oh heck yeah!" Like I'll be down to do that. Only because like it shows so much culture. And like I said, like it was my first time actually doing like a like a whole photo shoot like that. So
yeah,
I guess it was like kind of like a confidence boost to like, hey, like like let's do more like that. So
yeah. You looked really great, and that those photos were amazing. I saw that, and that was really
thank you
cool.
so much. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you to Josh and Deb though. They're the ones that totally
yeah,
did that, and Melissa too for the face paint. She's awesome.
yeah,
Josh and Deb are really cool to segue. Like I've I known them. I think they were like around early RCW when I first started going, and they've always been cool people to talk to and everything. And yeah, you're right. Their
Hmm.
photos and like video production, everything. They are just fantastic at everything that they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will always go
yeah.
to them for photos and
Oh yeah,
pics, anything like that. Hmm.
for sure.
Really good. Another thing I forgot to mention, so I'm going to go back in time a little bit. You actually did get on WWE TV
Yeah.
once. You were raised up by the Los Latarios. I don't know exactly. I don't remember if they were still called it at the
But
time.
were
Yes.
they? I can't, yeah, okay, they
Uh,
were.
I don't remember if it was or not. But it was in a segment with them and the Street Profits.
Yes.
What was that like that day? Just being backstage and being asked to be a part of one of the segments.
Man, it was crazy because they told us like you guys are not going to be used tonight, so go ahead and sit down, right? So we were just like,
Uh,
we're not like, we're not upset about it because we're still watching what's going on, so it's still
yeah,
fun to be back there. But um, like out of random, they just go, "Hey, you, come here," and I was like, "I'm in trouble. Like, what did
Hey,
I do?" Like, I'm
like
like,
like
I'm
damn
just
it,
sitting
whose
here.
sandwich was that in catering? I'm sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I was like,
whose chair did I sit in?
yeah. And then like they finally called me and then they were like, "Okay, so we're gonna do this segment. We just need you to stand there, look pretty, and get kissed on the cheek." And I was like, "Wait, what?" So like, I was like, my heart sunk because like this was live, like it was live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So like so I kept telling myself, "Key, if you mess up, like like everybody's gonna see this, and Coach Marvel's gonna get so mad at you, like he's not gonna let you go back to training after this." So like no, but like once it happened, I saw how they were rehearsing and stuff, and it was just
yeah,
interesting because it's stuff that we don't see, but
Yeah.
we
right.
see that from like our perspective, but then like the fans see something else, so you're like, oh, this is cool. And then so I was watching that we kept doing takes and takes too. Um, but then when it happened, I just felt like I think I held my breath the whole time. I think I
Just
did.
just couldn't help it. Uh, so I mean, like, I mean, you're still, I won't say new, but like you're still like so young in the business. How did that feel to know that already you can already say that you've been on a segment of WWE TV? How did that make you feel?
Yeah, so like once like the things came up and people recorded like like their videos from like their house and
Yeah,
stuff. I would see it and I was like, "Oh my God," like I couldn't believe it happened because like I said, like I'm still very new. Like I mean yes, I've been in like the business for like a while, but still like for me to be like on WWE TV, like that's always been my dream. Like even if I don't make it, like hey, I still made it on TV.
yeah,
Like a segment that's still cool to me. So it's just like that. There is just like part of like my fire to just keep moving forward and keep working hard because I will be there again one day and maybe doing matches on TV.
That would be awesome. I keep remember every time we like whenever they come to Texas or anything, and I see people like, hey, I know that guy that Braun Strowman is throwing over the top rope with
Oh yeah,
like
Brandon Rice.
man.
Yeah.
And this was back when he was full on heel and I was booing him. Even I was like, oh, I don't think he deserved that. I don't
No,
think he deserved that.
I know we still watch it to this day. We're like, oh my god, I can't believe it. It's crazy. Like, oh
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah, like there was even a segment that I did when I was like a medic for the Miz. And,
Oh
and like
wow.
Oh,
yeah, and
okay.
if you
Okay,
guys
that one I
didn't know
don't know.
this, like the Miz, like he is my all-time favorite wrestler. You know, like
Okay,
Yeah.
a
yeah.
bunch of my things from the stuff that I do in the ring comes from the Miz. Like
Okay.
I totally like I love his promos. I love the way he talks on the mic as a heel. He's just like that's somebody I
Yeah.
want to be. But like for them to ask like a female to be a medic, I was like, wait, what? Like, and then again, like that same night, we were not gonna get used for anything, so we were sitting in the
Yeah.
closet. We were sitting in a closet just waiting, like when do we get to go or something like that. And then finally they're like, hey, we need some medics, and they're like they're there and they're pointing people out, and they
Like
point at me, and I was like,
you.
me? I was like, me?
Who's
Yeah,
behind
Yeah.
you?
like you.
Yes, and like the
Oh.
me. Yeah, like the shirt was so big on me, I had to make it little and tuck it in. It was crazy, but like going down the ramp, oh my god, like hearing the fans, that's just like it's so heartwarming, but it's so like nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Was there a little part of you that was hoping he needed to be resuscitated,
Ugh.
or maybe needed a little
I was
CPR?
like, I like, how do you say, like, I try to have like my hands on his back for support,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
but then like I also didn't want to touch him because I didn't want him to get mad, so I was kind of,
Yeah.
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 but I was freaking out.
I don't think he'd have got mad at you. But
That's really
so
cool. I
cool.
didn't know about that one.
I
Yeah.
think I missed that one too. That's really awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, yeah, that there just like if I don't go anywhere in this career, but knock on wood, that does not happen, but like I can still say like my dream came true right there.
Yeah.
That moment
Yeah.
right there was just something that will always stick with me for the rest of my life, and like it just makes me want to do more and just get better and be there with him, wrestling on the same shows as him one day.
And then you can tell him the story. He can be like, "Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah,
you now." Yeah.
you're that weird medic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who wouldn't quite help.
Why was your shirt so
Yeah,
big?
who wouldn't quite help me, but was trying to help me. Who had the really big shirt? What was
Yeah.
up with all that going on? Of
Who
course,
is
does this come from the theory that WWE does keep wrestlers in the closet? I thought so for sure. It's like you just pulls it out.
Yes.
That's great.
But for what it's worth, we do believe that you have many great things ahead for you.
Absolutely.
You're coming back from injury here. What's the plan heading into 2024? What are you looking to do and accomplish as you kind of get back into it and get going?
Yeah, so basically like in the past, I can be honest and I can say like, like I was trying, but I wasn't doing 100%. So like now with this like injury and everything, like it kind of opened my eyes like, hey, this could be taken like that.
Yeah.
So and then like the fact that like, hey, I have a great wrestling school, like take advantage of it, Key. Like you have great trainers, you have great friends / family that are there to help you. Like so I just feel like with me being at training all the time now, I try not to miss any days. Like with that, like I just feel like I just want to try harder at training, do things that are out of my comfort zone, because like why not? Like like the worst thing that can happen is I fall and I get hurt, but just get back up again. But like as far as the gym goes, just get stronger, get more like in shape so people can notice me more. And then like I said, like like if there's like like I guess like opportunities out there, I'm down to take them. I'm gonna be like, oh yes, for sure, because I look at them as opportunities to grow as a wrestler, to be better as a person. And then just I just plan to travel more. I plan to get out of Texas for the most part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you mentioned WWE as the ultimate goal. Have you ever considered like the typical of like maybe like AEW, or I'm wearing the shirt like Stardom or something like that. Because I mean, I'm not, and again, nothing wrong with going to WWE, but like those places also, because and me and Mike and JC talk all the time. Impact, like their women's roster is probably still the best in wrestling right now. Have you ever considered going those, or is it just solely WWE just to focus?
Yeah, so I really like, I have my eye right now like on Impact, like for the most part. I don't really like, I don't see myself with AEW and stuff like that. Just being honest as a person.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
But like I said, like for like the most part, I would love to be in like I would love to have the like the whole opportunity to go to Stardom. I feel like that's an awesome experience that like that'll teach me so much, and I could bring back with me, teach other people. But for the most part too, I also just want to travel. Like I want to go to like the UK and do matches there. Like that's my dream right now, and I plan to keep on schedule and just keep trying harder every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like that. Tommy, you got anything else?
I did have one question, because and when we were putting this together, Mike did remind me. When you began, I distinctly remember Kiki Vibez, because Kiki Vibez and I didn't really get along, because I know it's
really.
I know it's shocking, Mike. I know
It was Tommy though. It wasn't me. It was Tommy.
I know, but Kiki Vibez,
I believe you.
She seemed to not like me as much, and I may have said a thing or two that was out of hand, a little out of pocket.
No,
I know, Mike, hard to believe.
So when's the shocking part coming, or was there?
It's non-existent. Anyway, no, but no. When did you decide to shorten that to just Key Vibez? What inspired that change?
Yeah. Okay. So like the whole Kiki Vibez thing. I feel like I was like I didn't have any ideas at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at training, for some reason, everybody called me Kiki. And then and I was like, okay, I mean, I said, like, that's fine, because it didn't bother me, but I didn't think of it going into my actual name for wrestling. But for me, how I see it is like, Kiki Vibez was like 2018, right, / 2020, right? I mean, no, like 2018 / 2019 kind of thing. But then Key Vibez became mature. She became a woman. She's different, so she dropped the key. So Kiki dropped the key. Now she's Key.
Okay. Well, if it's any consolation, I like Key Vibez way better than Kiki Vibez.
Me too. And I also had a different persona. I don't know if you remember that. I had a different persona.
You did, because you also hung out with those other two real jerks that you hang around with. Man, they weren't cool at all.
No, yeah. And then like what is it called? Like I guess, as as I became Key Vibez, I started telling myself like, Key, like if you love like heavy metal, if you're like totally different than most of the women nowadays, like why not show that to like the little girls who like maybe they like rock music, heavy metal too. Maybe they could say like, hey, it's not like it's okay to not like Barbie. It's not okay. I mean, it's it's okay to not like Pink all the time. It's okay to be like a little edgy and different. So I guess that's where like that character kind of transitioned over to Key Vibez, and now she's like full heavy metal, nothing else.
That's how I was different from like literally everyone I knew, like especially at my church, is like, because everyone knew that I listened to like Linkin Park. Actually, I don't know why Static X came in, but I did listen to a lot of Static X at that point. Like Rock Evanescence, because I was the only one who they knew that did. So like I was the only person like a lot of people knew who listened to any of that stuff. So this is absolutely true. I was the only black guy most people knew who shopped at Hot Topic.
Oh no way!
Yeah, I was the only one, because like I used to have the wristbands. If you ever saw like those like the Mario wristbands and all those kind of stuff. Like,
oh yes, I remember.
Everyone was like, "Where'd you get those?" I said, "Oh, Hot Topic." They're like, "You go in there?" I was like, "It's not Satan's store, guys. It's
like they look at you like you're like some kind of like menace or something. Like,
they did. The only thing that saved me was that I was in church every Sunday, so they're like, "Okay, he can't be that bad because he's always."
I mean, Tommy is a menace, but a different reason.
Yeah, but they also do us they also knew 9 times out of 10 I was at a wrestling show on Saturday and praising the Lord on Sunday. Usually,
Hey, and that's crazy because now I do that. Now I like I do my training. I scream at people. I scream, yay, and then here comes Sunday morning.
Here I am. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, church.
I also want to point out that Heavy Metal Key Vibes was also cool enough to take a friendship bracelet from Izzy, which Gia and Callie were not.
Yeah,
In fact, Gia stomped on the one that she got
That
put
was
on
kind of
her.
rude, right? Don't you think?
yeah, a
Yeah,
little. I,
she
I,
did a
I,
lot.
yeah. I don't know if you heard us say this. Everyone who jumps for Izzy. I said, what did she do? She just started this year. She couldn't possibly be all your madness.
Yes, I know. So many haters out there. But like what I'm saying is like, girl, you got a free bracelet. Like, what's not like? Come on, like, isn't that cool? But I forget, it's Gia Michelle. She doesn't like.
It probably
Yeah,
wasn't
She
bougie
doesn't
enough
like
she,
for them.
homemade stuff.
she's a
She
bit
likes that
bougie.
Versace,
Yeah.
Dior stuff. Like, she's extra.
that should be part of her new ring name. Extra.
She's extra.
Oh man,
I
that's
love it.
great. Yeah,
Right?
I really got to think that that comes with also being in hybrid is just that you guys get to see each other grow like this and see
Mhm.
each other form these characters, and that's just got to be fun to see because like you said, like when you started, you were Kiki vibes because you weren't entirely sure what your character was, and I'm sure, and I think probably it might be the same for Gia because when I remember when she started, she was just Miss Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember
Yeah.
when she did that. And then, like I remember she had. I remember the Gia came in right as the bougie came out. I was like, oh, okay, she knows what she's doing now. So,
Yeah.
so I get it. I mean, that's got to
Yeah.
be cool to see the transition to like the full on embracing of a character.
No, yeah, it is. And then it's crazy that you even talk about that because we just talked about it yesterday at training. We were thinking about, remember when Brandon Rice was Brandon Price, right?
Oh my god, I
Like,
forgot that.
it was a whole
Yeah.
character transition, and
Yep.
Yeah.
now it's like the Flamingo King, and you're like, wait, like I remember something else. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to see how people have like transitioned over to like different things. Like Maddie Rankowski, right? Now she's
Yeah.
like Miss Reality, and she's like the side character thingy. Like it's crazy. Like, but it's so awesome because like now like you see how it's like gotten more attention from fans and stuff. So like like you
Yeah.
see this now, but imagine the future for these, for these guys. Like imagine the future for everybody.
Yeah.
I know with Maddie. I remember her like one of the first matches I saw her in was like she did a match with like David Kidd. They were both like the young plucky kids, and then next thing
Yes.
I know, here she comes with a stamp and calling everyone a side character. Which, by the way, that stamp has seen some mileage because I know, and
Yeah.
yeah, she I mean, willingly and unwillingly, she has just like been crazy with that thing
On my
lately.
damn forehead.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said. She just said she's going crazy
Yeah.
with that stupid thing.
And let me tell you, that
Oh,
stuff is hard to take off.
yeah.
Yeah, Mike knows.
Yeah.
But
Also, on a side note, at some point he has to become David Teen,
Yeah.
right? At least, maybe not David Adult, but at least David
David
Teen,
Teen, like where
right?
he grows up a little bit. Maybe he goes through like a
Yeah,
little emo phase or something.
right.
You know,
Oh my god!
David Emo would be awesome.
David Emo,
Like with the hoodie and just
he's
yes,
all
that.
sad.
Oh man, yeah.
Okay, but if he does that, he has to come out to Evanescence, and I will pick the
Oh
song.
my God,
And it
yes.
has to be from their first public album, Fallen. That's how much of an
Yeah.
Evanescence nerd I am. I know which albums are that came
Oh
out
my
first.
God.
So,
Or Blink 182, something like that. Come out to that.
oh no, wait, Simple Plan has another song that's super emo because I was also a Simple Plan fan way back in the day, and
Oh
he needs he,
yes.
he needs to get something off their second album that came out in like '03. What was the name of that song? I'll think of it later, and I'll message you.
You
I
gotta
love, how,
tweet
I
it
love
later.
I love how we're planning out his character. He ain't even here.
Right? He'll get some pointers in like the wow. He'll see this and he'll be like, hey, they have some cool ideas.
he watches the he
Oh,
watches the
we'll get him
interview.
on here
He
soon,
watches the
and
interview like,
yeah,
wow, that's actually not a bad
Let me
idea
take some notes.
there.
that's too
It
fun.
is like but I just want to say from a personal standpoint, it's really been cool to see your transition overall. Like seeing you in the early matches, and to me, it's not like you were bad or anything, but I could tell when the green and the nervousness was
Mhm.
there. But now you've totally got command of your character. The fans absolutely love it. Like when you came back at the hybrid show and Jump Gia, the place erupted, and it's just really cool to see this transition of you becoming this superstar. It's really cool.
Thank you so much. I'm just glad that it's all like working out the way that I that I plan to, of course, I was green back then. And I still go over like those matches. I'm like, hey, I should pull those things out again, but this time make them snappier and more cleaner.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's just crazy to see like how far I've came. Like I'm not trying to sound very like conceited, but I'm very proud of
No,
myself for
yeah.
how far I've came.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I felt like there's nothing wrong being proud of yourself. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are people who get carried away with it, of course, but being proud of yourself, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that at all. Yeah.
for sure.
100%. Well, Key, we want to thank you for joining us. This has been fun, and we look forward to you getting back out there in 2024 and wrecking havoc and reminding everyone why you're the creative hybrid.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it. I had so much fun.
Thank
So much for being here.
you very much.
And then hopefully all these people that are watching are banging their heads right now.
Yes.
There you
Yeah.
go. All right. And Wrestle Geeks, we will see y'all later. Thank y'all for joining us.
Later, guys.
There you go.
See ya.
Bye-bye.